Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make envelopes and boxed envelopes without using a envelope punch. So you can use an envelope punch, but I'm going to show you how I did it for my projects where I did not use an envelope punch. I hope that all makes sense. So I have a couple things that I would like to put in envelopes or envelope boxes. So this one will go in an envelope. I made some embellishments for these projects actually, and I just punched a bunch of stuff out of some scrap page. I punched out a bunch of shapes out of scrap paper. And this was what was left over, and so I'm going to share this with one of my friends, and I am going to make it pretty. Right now it's decently pretty, but I'm going to make it even prettier. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to measure this particular envelope, the plastic envelope. And this is going to be a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, I think. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set that aside, and we're going to pull out a sheet of cardstock, and we're going to need a scoreboard first. Now, normally when I make these things, there is a ton of trial and error. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Nope. There. And then I'm going to count up 3 1/4. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and there's my quarter. Now I'm going to pull up an extra 1/4 of an inch and score there. Okay. And because this is an envelope, it's not a boxed envelope, we're going to stop there as far as this goes. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate it once, and then we're going to, let's see, what are we going to do? Sorry, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. We're going to go ahead and score all the way down. And then we're going to count over. We're going to go 1, and then we're going to go 2, 3, and then there's our 3 1/4. And for this one, we're going to take it over a 1/2 inch, and we're going to score there. Okay. Now we're done with this. So if you can really like see what things become, then you'll start understanding where the envelope lies. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start cutting things out. I can probably mark this because I can fold over it. Nope, give me that. Alright, so we're going to cut this like so. Okay. And then we're going to cut this like so. Okay, so all of this is gone, and it cuts right here. And then here, we're going to cut here and here, all the way down. And the same thing here, all the way down. Okay. Now, most of this you'll be able to cut on your trimmer, but we'll want to cut with scissors if at all possible. Okay. And cut here. And here. And all the way down here. This is actually easier when I don't mark it. There we go. Well, it's easier for me when I don't mark it because I can see the fold better. But when I mark it, you guys can see it better, and that's kind of the objective here. So we're going to cut this big old rectangle out, and you could definitely use your trimmer for this. Okay, and we're going to cut, oh, we already did that part. So we're going to cut along this score line here, and we're going to cut all the way down. Okay, and these two pieces here, I'm not sure what you would be able to do with, but this is a decent sized scrap piece of paper, so we're going to save that. So I'm always sitting on my feet and my chair is so squeaky, so my apologies. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fold over, and if you notice, it goes too far. Okay, so remember what we cut, what we scored in between. It should be 3.5, and it's actually, I forgot this, the lengthwise or widthwise rather, we did a 1/2 inch extra versus a 1/4 inch extra. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this side down to 3 3/4, so it matches the envelope. And we're also going to do the same thing with this side. We're going to cut this side down to 3 1/2. So this will end up being non-square. So yes, 3 1/2. Actually, if you want it to cover the entire surface, then you can cut it down to 3 1/2. But if you don't want it to cover the entire surface, then just cut down to your desired length. So what I'm going to do is let's see, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to kind of angle it. So I'm going to cut it in half, not really in half, but I'm going to cut a line over here and then kind of like make your traditional envelope square pieces, thingamabobs. Does that make sense? I'm sure with, you know, my lingo of thingamabobs, that works. It's probably going to work better with my knife and roller because, bless you, I will be able to cut on the edge. Because it's like such an oddball angle here of, you know, trimming. I don't know why I marked it. You don't need to mark it unless you need to like pick up your blade or something. So, and then the next thing that we want to do is we want to cut off a decent portion of the top part. And it doesn't really matter how far it is. I'm just kind of guesstimating right now, trying to make it straight. And then I'm going to take a corner off. I don't want it to be too sharp of a corner because I don't want a triangle at the top. Okay. And now I'm going to take the same corner and I'm going to flip it over. See what I did there? I took this corner here and I flipped it over to match this corner over here. And I'm actually going to draw a line with this because I don't know if I'll be able to keep it straight. I can't even keep it straight with drawing a line. Okay, so then we're going to take our roller and our knife and we're going to line this up to cut this off. Okay. And it should, oh, I missed. It should be fairly accurate, or at least symmetrical. So again, with the scraps, if you could find something to do with them, fantastic. If not, you know, fantastic. honestly, actually, we do want to keep this corner. Give me that back. Okay, we do want to keep this because we're gonna, me personally, I'm going to mat this. But first what I'm gonna do is I am going to get that marker. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to grab a scrap sheet of paper. This works. Some old packaging here. It's all bent up and whatnot, but it still works. So what I'm going to do here is because I'm sitting here looking at this where I marked it and actually really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line around the outside of the entire thing. And, well, you don't necessarily need to do that part. But I do want to do the inside right here because you'll see that. Okay. And do this side. I don't think you'll see that part. But this part right here, you'll see because of the fold here. And also, something else I forgot to tell you guys. We'll want to cut this part down just a little bit. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch, and it doesn't really matter how you cut it as far as if you angle it or if you just do a divot. That's what I'll do. So it honestly doesn't matter. So I actually have a scallop 3.5 inch, which is kind of perfect for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off so you guys can see. Ow! Stab myself with the scallop portion of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this inside here. And if you guys can see, there is this side over here where the lid is. And then there's this side over here where the edge is. So I'm going to try to center this. I don't want it to be across the entire portion. I just want just a little bit of a divot here. I don't even know if that's the right word I'm using. But I'm going to try to eyeball this according to here and try to center it as best as I can and figure out how far down I want this. And I think I want it right about there. Ew. And watch things fly. Okay. I lost my piece of paper. I'll catch it in a minute. So we're going to continue to outline things. As far as the flap goes, you do want to do both the front and the back. And this honestly is the same concept as inking. If you have ever inked before, it's the same exact concept. All you're doing is you're taking a opposing color to your project and you are creating a kind of an outline, if you will. There we go. And you actually didn't need to do the inside of that. I kind of got a little carried away. So with these, you want to fold these up. These are your tabs and your lid. So you want to make your square or rectangle, if you will. And you're going to, I was going to see if you could just mark the edges, but it's not really that possible. So you're just going to go across the sides like you did for the other flap. And you just keep going until you have your sufficient coverage that you would like. And I'm going to do the other side of this too because it is the flap of the envelope. Excuse me. And then we're going to do the sides of the flap. And then the outside of the scallop. This is actually the right side. I did the wrong side a minute ago. There we go. And now You just keep going, like I said, until you have sufficient coverage of your project. Okay, so that is that, and voila. Now, if you've noticed in folding everything up, you've actually already have your envelope. You just need to assemble it. So what you'll need with this is some good double-sided adhesive, and you will put adhesive on these flaps here. Now, when you do these flaps here, it's best if you, I'll show you, hold on. What you're going to do here is you are going to peel this up on the bottom, possibly here. Okay, and now we're going to tack the bottom onto this side right here, just like that. That way it doesn't come up. Okay, and now we are going to line this up with the sides over here, and it should be fairly even. And there you go. And if you, after you fold it, you see that you didn't get a spot, like right here, this is the front of it, then just go back and remark it. Or not remark it, because you didn't mark it to begin with, but you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go back and mark that up, and there you go. Now, you could honestly be completely done with this, but or you could cover this, and the only thing that you would do to cover this, it's actually super simple. So you take your desired paper of choice, and all I'm doing right now is I'm flipping through some scraps. I have like this huge pile of scraps over here, and I'm going to dig through that. I think that's good. All right, so I'm going to grab my trimmer here, and we're going to measure this to double check. So it is going to be, and I'm sorry if you guys can hear my heater, it's like doing something weird. It's like all rattly and whatnot. It's crazy. So this is a little over 3.5. It's about 3 3/4. We're going to go with that. And then this one is 3.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off a 1/2 inch, because I want this blue to show, and I also want this silver to show. So I'm going to take off a 1/2 inch, and what that's going to do is it's going to put a 1/4 inch border all the way around it. So instead of making it 3 3/4, I'm going to make it 3.5 or 3 1/4. And then for this one, it is 3.5. I'm going to make it 3. So we need to cut this 3 by 3 1/4. So, and we need to cut 2 of these, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay. Now we're going to need the 3 1/4 cut. Okay. And next, what we're going to do is move this out of the way, grab one of our sheets here, and make sure that it's sitting at the right spot. And we're going to punch this side with our gigantic scallop punch here. And we're going to try to center it. And we're going to punch. Okay. And now, we didn't punch off enough. And this is what I mean by trial and error, ladies and gentlemen. Oftentimes when I do things like this, it's very much trial and error. Okay. And that is significantly better. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to seal our, not seal, we're going to adhere our mats to our envelopes. And you can use any kind of adhesive you'd like with this. I'm just using an ATG gun. I like the ATG gun because you can get into nooks and crannies fairly easily, and you can get right up to the edge really well. And it's not really that permanent as far as if you make a mistake, you can pick it up and move it around. Okay, so there's that. And you could also mount the inside of this right here if you'd like. I think I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to adhere over here. I really hate touching this glue, whatever. It's so weird. Ah! But what's funny is I always like touch it purposely so I could pick it up. And I don't know why that is, because I really don't like touching it at all. It's kind of funny. Alright, so now we're going to take our paper here and center it. And there we go. So that is that. And if you wanted to embellish it some more, you could put an embellishment right here. You could put an embellishment right here. It's really completely up to you. So if you wanted to, you could put this little guy right here and put Velcro on this side. Actually, I think I might do that. Okay, I'm back. So I normally have a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch, but I normally have about 10 sets of the Velcro, but I don't have like all of my Velcro pulled out all at the same time because it's like 2 gigantic rolls. It's like the male and female portion, and like one of each roll. Anyway, so I just set out a little bit and I keep it in my little drawer over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to adhere the Velcro right here. And it's adhesive backed, so you just peel the back off, put it down, and then peel the back off here. And push it down. Just like so. And as far as this goes, you just kind of want to put it wherever you think you might want it. And I'm just going to put it right smack dab in the middle here. And there we go. There we go. Oh, if you Velcro this, learn from my mistake. Put your thing on first, your embellishment, before you Velcro it, because if you don't, then you might melt your Velcro, which is, I melted like a portion of it right here, which I was like, why is it sticking to me? Because it melted. Yep. So anyway, now we have an envelope to put our goodies in. And there's the beauty. Now you can take them out of this clear plastic, or you can leave them in the clear plastic. Yeah, it's your choice, honestly. And there we go. Now we have a cute little envelope. And you could put the embellishment on this side, or you could leave it on this side, or, you know, the opportunities for making pretty is endless. So yeah, that's it. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye guys.